Here, junior guard Josh Fortune, senior center Josh Scott, and sophomore guard Dominique Collier. We'll go ahead and just open it up for questions.
No opening statement.
How do you feel, Coach said that you've put on some weight, some muscle. How do you feel you've progressed from last year to this year, experience-wise, and being able to take the team down court?
I just feel like I'm more confident out there, just having that weight and having that year under my belt, and then just learning from the older guys, just to be more confident and just more aggressive on the court, especially.
What did you learn from Ski, watching how he directed things last year?
Just he wasn't scared to fail. I mean, he would go out there and just he had so much confidence, and then that's really what I learned the most from him. Just not be scared to fail and just have the most confidence out there and just have just feel like no one able to guard you out there.
For Josh Fortune, Josh, you spent a year kind of removed from competitive play. Are you chomping at the bit to get back in and start playing in competitive games before again?
Yeah, it's been a long time not playing. I'm looking forward to playing again and playing and competing in a hostile environment, away games, home games where the crowd is rooting for us. So I'm just looking forward to playing again.
Well, you guys struggled pretty mightily on the road last year. You went 2-11. How do you kind of alleviate or improve on playing outside the course?
Come on, point guard. Let's go, point guard. Speak up.
I feel like we just have to just go out there and just play more as a team. I mean, last year we would play one half of basketball good, and then the next half it'll be a let off from the first half. So we just have to pull a complete game, and then I feel like if we do that, we'll be fine because we play like we played in Oregon in the Pac-12 tournament. We played one half of great basketball, and then we slacked off, and then that really hurt us because we ended up losing that game.
For Dom, Josh Fortune, Coach has talked about three-point defense obviously being a shortcoming the last couple of years. Do you two feel like that's an area where obviously you can kind of step in and down in your case, improving over in short defensive end this year?
Yeah, definitely. Defending the three would be important for us this year. We worked on it a lot in practice every day, closeout drills, and just staying focused on that. I think it'll help us, benefit us a lot during the season if we can do that, defend the three good.
Josh Scott, Tad said last year that he was going to be more demanding on this team heading into this year. Have you noticed a change in your coach? He said he was taking the bull by the horns last year, and that was his fault. Are the players accepting the change positively?
I mean, honestly, yes, there's a change. He talks a whole lot more. He explains a whole lot more. He takes the time on the court to really get his point across. Even if it's the smallest detail, he's going to take the time and pay attention to it. And in terms of like just looking at practice, that's just how our practices have been. He's been taking the time to explain the smallest thing, whether it's just a small showing on a ball screen mistake or being in help side, but he's kind of being more he's paying more attention to details, put it that way.
Is he tougher on you guys?
No, he's about the same. He's always been tough. He's always been tough.
Josh Fortune, last year you guys struggled at getting the ball in the net. I know you weren't playing, but everyone sees you as a shooter, and it's going to have a huge impact on this team. Who besides you is going to put the ball in the net for this team?
Say that one more time.
Who on the team is going to put the ball in the net? Who's going to score the goals for you guys?
We all can score on our team. We have low post players that can score. We have guards that can get to the rack, and me being a shooter, when a low post players get double teamed, being able to make shots on the outside of the perimeter is going to open the floor for everyone for driving lanes and all of that. So we can all play. We can all score basically. So it's going to be fun.
Josh Scott, last year before the season, you talked a lot about how you had worked on your perimeter shot I think you only ended up shooting around 6 threes on the season. Do you expect that number to go up this year?
Yeah. I just need to shoot them, honestly. It's one of those things where, especially if people are going to down ball screens and our guards come off and they leave me open at the three-point line, I'm going to shoot it just because the defense needs to respect me. Not to mention something when shooting them all off season. So it's one of those things where even if they're not going in, probably going to shoot at least 1 or 2 of them. So yeah, probably see more threes for me.
Coach Scott, how do you think your Pan American camp experience gave you an added perspective for this year?
Fired me up. I think in terms of like the experience itself, it kind of just showed me how different people do basketball and how they go about preparing for their seasons. But in terms of what it did for me, more than anything, it kind of worked as motivation because I didn't make the team, and so it kind of was another chip on my shoulder for the season.
Josh, if an athlete has a knee injury, has a breaks an arm, he's got a cast, you go through a back, you don't have the thing to show you not hurt. How did you deal with that mentally last year, and how thankful or appreciative of
Honestly, it was a struggle. It wasn't a fun situation for me, but I think both these guys know, especially probably him more than anything, it's painful sitting and watching your team and not being able to do anything about it. And for me, it was just like, even though it was a struggle, it was one of those things where it's better to have me out there struggling than me sitting on the bench. And so that was just kind of my mentality, was just, try to push through and fight for it, even though it wasn't exactly what I wanted out of myself. But in terms of just like how appreciative I am of my health, I'm very appreciative. It's kind of means the world to me now. I understand how it kind of feels to get basketball taken away from you and you have no control over it. And so now it's kind of more like valuing the time I have.
As a team, how much, or a leader, or how much can you look outside yourself and say, I'm going to help, or try to get the most out of the guys on your side, in addition to contributing to my performance, my jobs, my defense, that obviously like to just that way. What's the best approach? Just worry about your game or expand your focus?
I think throughout my career, at least, I've seen that when you focus too much on your own personal career, it doesn't really lend much to your whole team. And so for me, it's more of I've been there, played against good players, played against good teams, and it's just more lending my experiences. And in terms of looking at other people's games, I think last year, I was probably too quiet, and I'm probably going to get on guys more, and guys probably won't like me at times, but I figure it's senior year, don't really have time for worrying about it, and it's one of those things where I hope everybody, including these guys, are honest with me as well. So just one of those things where I'm going to look at it, and if there's something that needs to be addressed, it's going to be addressed, and we're going to have a good year. Go ahead.
How is the team different this year without XJ?
So far, honestly, XJ to me was like an Energizer bunny. When he really set his head to it, he was a bull. So for us, I think the biggest difference without him is, making sure that we rebound the ball and that people stay aggressive, especially on the perimeter. Because that's something XJ I thought did really well as a player. But other than that, I think he's still with us. He's still there to cheer us on, and honestly, I enjoy when he kind of speaks up and says, hey guys, you turn the ball over too much, because he has a perspective that none of us have. So it's good to still have him, but you're gonna have to make up for it, and I think we're gonna be fine. Honestly, we're gonna be perfectly fine.
Coach Boyle said earlier that your development has been very good, but the one thing that he wants to challenge you in is kind of being a more vocal leader. And then mentioned that kind of personality-wise, it's not the vocal type. So how do you kind of get yourself into that more vocal leader role alongside Josh?
Well, yeah, like you said, it's been a problem for me throughout growing up in school or whether it's basketball. So I just been trying to work on it outside of basketball as much as I can so I can be more comfortable with it on the court. And then just having these guys just like yell at me or whatever, or the teammates to get their head in the game, that'll light a spark into me and then to start to open my mouth more. But overall, I just been working on it every day.
Do you think being a leader when you were in high school and being an elite player in the state of Colorado can help you jump to being upper echelon player on this team?
Oh, can you say the last part again?
Jump to being a better player on this team?
I think it can. I think really I just have to be more aggressive and then just have that confidence, and I think the leadership will come throughout the year. And then, like I said, I've been working on it. But, I mean, high school, that was 2 years ago, so I just need to – I may have had a good high school career. I just need to look past that and then have a good college career.
Josh Scott, what was the lesson learned from your
There's a lot of them, but honestly, I think the biggest one, I think maybe you can ask both of these, but one I think all of us have kind of taken away and have kind of felt in practice has been a sense of urgency, as well as almost a willing to commit to what we were founded on, or what our program's about, which is defensive rebounding. And I think those things, as well as, I've said it before, I feel like guys are kind of, talking to each other and letting people know when something's not all right, which is a good thing going into this year that I think as a lesson we can, really improve upon and keep us going.
Josh Fortune, you're a veteran guy. You said you played you sat and watched this thing last season from the outside. What was your observation?
It was hard watching, but not to say, anything, but it was just not playing was kind of hard. But I just think that at certain times we would not come out the gate as strong and wait kind of too late to play hard, and that was kind of an ongoing thing through the whole season. I just think that we need to fix that this year and come out each game, play it like it's our last, and just play hard every game.
Josh Scott, since the time you were 14 or 15, maybe even younger, there's a lot of outside people evaluating whether you're a international team coach or an NBA scout. Forget all that for a second. How do you evaluate yourself and where you are as a player right now?
Honestly, I think my body of work so far through my career puts me as a pretty dang good player. I think every player has his weakness, and so I keep improving upon them, and I'll continue to work on my game. But honestly, I've been pretty pleased. I think I've always had people doubt me, not believe in me, and that was high school. That was me starting as a freshman in college, and it's kind of a little bit it's our team and me right now. So I always look forward to proving people wrong, and somehow I always end up coming out on top, and I plan on doing that again along with this team.
What's the biggest doubt you've heard through the years that you've done that's wrong, I'm really wrong about that, or maybe associated with that, the weakness that you see in your own game and say, okay, I've got to impact that?
Honestly, I heard that, I remember coming out of high school and even as a freshman in college saying that a kid from Colorado basketball couldn't succeed at the college level. And now I just say first team all Pac-12 if I hear it. I think I've succeeded. Our team has been to 2 NCAA tournaments since I've been here, and I think Dom probably understands that doubt, probably, and it's just one of those things where you just continue to prove people wrong with your actions rather than your words.
Just for all you guys, how's Jordan fitting in the rotation? How's your chemistry?
Who? Yeah. George Kang?
George? Oh.
Kang, yeah.
George he's a really athletic wing, one of our bigger wings that we have. He can play a lot of positions from the 2 to the 4, and just having being able to be that diverse in our system is very good for us to have him crash the boards on offense and defense and just be a physical wing player.
Josh Scott. So last year you guys were picked third. This year you picked seventh. I know coach doesn't really like all that stuff, but did you feel last year maybe you guys thought as a team, well, you know, they have to come at us, and this year, is it easier being seventh and saying whatever else we get is gravy?
I don't think it's easier. I'm not a big believer in rankings either. Honestly, you prove it when Pac-12 season comes around. But I do think our motivation is more of we don't want to have another year like we did last year. I don't think it has really anything to do with the rankings. I think we still have pressure on ourselves to make it back to a tournament and to put the program back where it was before last year.
To kind of show that the 2 years prior were not a blip on the radar, that this is where Colorado should be.
I mean, we don't want to be looked at as the group that let it slip. You know, Coach Boyle and this program, I mean, they put this program in a great place, and we don't want to be the group that's, you know, let it slack 2 years in a row. Last year, for a number of factors, didn't go the way that we wanted it to, and this year's a new year, and you know, we're gonna fight to make sure it doesn't happen. Nothing happens like last year.
For all you guys up there, Coach, when he was up here talking about maybe being too soft last season on you guys, maybe allowing too much, accepting too many things. Have you noticed a difference in his approach in terms of how he's been handling you fellas?
Oh yeah, I've noticed it a lot in practice. Like Josh said, he knows he knows the details, the little details last year, but this year he's voicing his opinions and letting us hear what is on his mind, and then I feel like that's good for us, so we can learn on it and get better. So, yeah, I feel like he's. I mean, he's always been tough on us, but he just voicing himself more this year.
Josh, got you in here the longest. Have you noticed maybe different demeanor about that in terms of how he's doing you guys?
There's nothing different in his demeanor per se. I think, like I said earlier, it's more of he's extremely more detail oriented in practice and film. I mean, you could think you played well in a practice, then you go into film, and he's going to look at every single little detail about it. We might be on a play for about 4 or 5 minutes, feels like, just, you know, going over each individual person. And honestly, it's you got to change something after last year, so it's not even a big deal. It's just more one of those things where you accept it, because honestly, we had a bad year last year. We don't want to repeat it, so something has to be different.
We have time for one more question in this setting, and then we'll maybe have about 5 minutes for any quick one-on-ones, and I got to get these guys to class. So any final questions?
You played against Wes Gordon in high school. I assume you play against him in practice. Can you talk about Wes from last year to this year?
Wes from last year to this year, I think the biggest thing I've seen so far in practice, he's more aggressive. Offensively, I think defensively, I think he's always been pretty solid. But offensively, he's been more aggressive, and he's kind of been more vocal. I hear him voicing frustrations, not bad frustrations, just like, you know, don't turn the ball over, you know, get the ball moved. And to hear Wesley's voice, somebody who's actually been really solid the past 2 years, is really important, because he is such a good player. And for him to be more aggressive offensively only makes our team better.
All right, thanks, everybody. We'll have pizza here in about half an hour, hopefully.
No problem.